What's up, YouTube? Welcome to our Kotlin 101 series, and in this video, we're going to be going over installing IntelliJ. And we're going to do that through the JetBrains toolbox. The reason why I like to install my IDEs through the JetBrains toolbox is because it makes it really easy to keep our IDEs up to date. Anytime there's an update, you just come over here, you click the update and it updates it for you. You don't got to go to the website, download it, replace it, and go through that whole process. And we're going to be using IntelliJ and Android Studio. So after this series is over, we're going to be getting into some Android stuff. So this is another, great singular place to install all your JetBrains IDEs. And one thing, whenever you get into JetBrains, that you'll realize is it's all the exact same IDE. They just have specific tools for like a specific technology added on top. So IntelliJ is really great for Java and Kotlin. Android Studio is just IntelliJ, but with Android features built into it. PyCharm's good for Python. WebStorm's good for doing stuff with web technologies and so on. So all you got to do is click this download button. It's super easy to install. I already have mine installed. So once you have this toolbox opened up, I pay the subscription for my idea editors. Now you most definitely don't have to do this. I make a living using JetBrains IDEs, so it makes sense for me to pay for it. But you don't need the Ultimate Edition to follow along with anything in this tutorial whatsoever. The Community Edition has everything that you need and so much more. So just install IntelliJ IDEA Community to get started. And yeah, let's get it going. Alright, and while it's installing, I'm just going to talk about my IDEA shortcut cheat sheet. Now, you can get a free copy of this. There will be a link in the description, and it goes over all of the uh, shortcuts for ideas. So this is a really nice place to, like what does what. You can just come over here, and then I have some of the shortcuts that I use every day, some of my favorite ones. So yeah, feel free to, get your free PDF and check it out. And let's check on our progress. Still installing, so we'll come back when this is done. Awesome. Everything's done downloading, so we can just click on it to open it up. No import settings. I don't have any settings to import. We'll be setting this stuff up in our video. So we'll just start with creating a new project here. So it found my JDK, found 11. You can install your own JDKs through your IDE now, which is a beautiful feature to have. And JVK is just our Java development kit. So Kotlin is based off of Java and it's 100% interlopable with Java. So we can just drop Kotlin files in a Java project and be totally fine, which is really cool. And we can also use any Java dependency in a Kotlin file, which is also beautiful and amazing. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to say Kotlin 101 for our project. I will make it a Git repository manually and push it up for y'all so that we can keep track of what we're learning as we're going through this playlist. And for language, definitely go on Kotlin here. Build system, we're going to go with Gradle, and we want to do a Kotlin Gradle. We don't need to add sample code. And as for my group ID, I'll just be fancy and do dev.Jimmy McBride. And let's hit create. Okay, so right away it's having an issue with our just gonna download a brand new JDK. Let's download 18. This looks good. Awesome. So all of that is done. We can come into our settings. We've got our project name. We can look at our Gradle properties. We're using the official Kotlin code style. And then we have our build Gradle, which is where all the juicy things lie. We have version Kotlin 1.8.2, which is, I'm pretty sure, the very latest version of Kotlin at the time of this recording. And then Maven Central is the central hub for most of the dependencies that we're going to use. So whenever we add dependencies, and if it's something outside of Maven Central, maybe like Google or JC Center or something like that, we can add these in here, but we don't have to worry about that for now. These are where we actually install the dependencies. All we have is this little test implementation of Kotlin, so no real dependencies in here at all. And yeah, so let's open up our source main Kotlin. There is no, we'll cancel that. There's no files in here right now. So we can create a new Kotlin file. We'll click on file and we'll say main. Alright, so before we start writing our first hello world function, what I want to do is just adjust the settings a little bit. So in Windows and Linux, Control Alt S opens settings. If you want to use the keyboard shortcuts to open up, we're going to start in appearances. I'm going to click on new UI. It's in beta and it's beautiful. So I'm going to click this. Compat mode, yeah, make it take up less. So let's hit OK, restart it. We're going to be restarting our IDE a couple of times as we install a few plugins and update settings and stuff. Alright, and so we can actually swap back and forth to see what these look like. So that's compact, that's clean. I don't like the tips at the start, so I'm going to turn that. And I'm going to keep clean, and I'm going to say finish setup. Alrighty. This looks so much better in my opinion. If you like the old way, you can feel free to use that. Now, we're going to come over to appearances. I'm going to use custom fonts. Change the style to 16. And instead of enter, I'm just going to do serif sans. Where are you? Sans serif. Boom. Alright, we'll apply that. And then so we've changed this, but you can see that our number one here is still small. Our code's still small, so this appearance font just works for our system stuff. It doesn't actually change anything that's in our little code editor. So we can change that by going up to font in our editor tab, and Hack is my favorite mono font. Code is also really popular, and since I have a big screen, I'm going to change to 26. I'm going to hit apply. You can see our one got a little bit bigger now. So to make our code nice and easy to see. And then we can come over here to code styles. We can click on Kotlin, and I like 2 for my tab sizes. If you like 4, go 4. We can come up here, and if we want to adjust how our editor formats things for us, we can come in here and define exactly how all of that stuff looks. And then we can come over here to file and code templates. Whenever you get a job, you do these things a lot. So we have this blank file header over here, and then we've got all of these Kotlin things with some code. Let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. And I have a gist on my GitHub. So we'll go to my gists and this class definition one right here. So we had that empty file header, so I'll copy this and we'll go to includes file header. I'm going to paste this right here. It's got my name. Whenever I created the class, we're going to add a new one. We're going to call this class definition. Okay. And actually, let's open that back up. Ready? Put that there. And then over here on files, we're going to come over here to Kotlin, and then we're going to go back to our gist, and we're going to copy this. So I'll replace that. And then we don't want to replace this part, just this section. All right, and then I'm just going to leave those blank because I never use those kinds of files. Hit apply. Now we have our little template set up. Basically, just what this does is whenever we create new classes or files, it throws little author blocks and copyright blocks for us so we know who created the file, stuff like that. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to come to tools and actions on save. IntelliJ and IDEA editors in general, they just save as you type, which is really nice if you ever your IDE crashes or your power goes out. You don't lose a whole bunch of work. So I just use my save to reformat. So I like to check these three boxes: rearrange code, optimize imports, and reformat code. So every time I save, it beautifies my code for me. And that is the way I like it. And now we're going to come into plugins. I'm going to just install my favorite icons and my favorite, let's see. So let's start with icons. I like the Atom Material icons. I think they look beautiful. Then we will do our theme. I like one dark theme. This one right here. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite. My go-to. Now that we've installed that, we're going to go for rainbow brackets. This changes the bracket colors of different scopes so it's easier to see the scope that a pair of brackets belongs to. Alright, and then the last one I'm going to install, super optional, is IDEA Vim. I learned Vim motions long before I ever entered IntelliJ, and IntelliJ and IDEA has the absolute best Vim emulation that I've experienced yet. So you don't have to use that, but I am very comfortable with it, so I'm going to turn that on. And now let's restart our IDE. Next, we'll just hit OK and restart. Awesome. So we can close these. And we'll just check our settings one more time. All right, and I will be back. I'm just going to change all of these to IDE so that all my control commands are IDEA commands and not Vim commands, and I'll be right back. All right, and I'm done with that. We should be good to go. So we can start by writing our first hello world function. So we'll call this main, and we will print ln hello world. And so you see we have different configurations that we can run. So whenever we try and hit play, it's going to try and run the current file. Since we have a file that can be ran, this function main here, you see we have this little like play icon. It's going to try and play our main function. Awesome. So you see it printed hello world. It actually took a second to load up for the first time, but the subsequent ones should be much faster. But yeah, this is everything that you need to know to get started in IntelliJ, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video. So just to do a quick recap, we went over how to install this with the toolbox, and we went over a bunch of settings. We installed our theme, we installed a couple of plugins, some new icons, we turned on the new beta UI, and we set up some quality of life features like save on format. Just to show you, we come over here and all I do is Command S and pops it right back to where it's supposed to be. So very beautiful, very satisfied. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.